let's talk about the big news, which is the flotilla, being the Madleen, continuing in this trajectory of humanitarian operations, activists trying to reach Gaza, break the siege, and get much needed food and medical aid into the region. Obviously, this ride was a little different because our girl Greta Thunberg was on there. Yeah. They set sail from Italy, I think about a week and a half ago. They were in international waters and they were surrounded. There were quadcopters in the sky. Israel came down and surrounded them. And it was a pretty terrifying moment that I just wanted to play a little bit of. This is sort of, it's almost like surveillance footage, like dash cam footage of the Madleen as they're on their way to Gaza.
It's being very protected for us.
So they're kind of like screaming, they're all wearing vests. Now you can see lights sort of around them, and that is clearly Israeli flashlights or, you know, from their helmets or whatnot.
Mobilisez-vous. Go to the places. Ditch the phone. Ditch the phone. Ditch the
They're all sort of
phone.
organized and trying to sit down.
Phones in the water, please.
And they all have their hands up. Now, I just want to I think there is a narrative out there somehow that this is performative. And I want to just tell those people to, you know, suck my dick. like
Mine too. Mine too, if they've got time.
Just the idea that do you understand, like 10 people were killed 20 years ago or more, like doing this exact same thing. Turkish activists were murdered by the Israeli, the IDF because of it. And so it's like, you watch that and you're like, okay, I'm glad their hands are up. They they raise their hands as if, obviously to surrender. But then I'm just like the heroism, how scary, how frightening. There are also Palestinians who we'll talk about in a second who are on the boat. Tig, we knew this would likely happen, that they would not be allowed to get in. It's almost like, don't you feel like Israel should just let one of the things work out so they don't look like total monsters? Like if I were giving them propaganda advice, I'd be like, let one boat in. You know what I mean? Like, so you don't look so awful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like, I've been talking about this for a while. I think Zionism and the people who support it particularly are under some sort of a kind of like a mass psychosis or something. And I think nothing illustrates that better than this story and the way it's being portrayed, particularly focusing on Greta Thunberg. Like if you're sparing all your vitriol for this 22-year-old young woman who spent her whole adult life, she's actually spent her whole life trying to save the planet, and now I would say save a little bit of humanity in all of us. And you've got all your vitriol towards her and not this pariah state that we all know across the board, like every human rights group worth its salt is declaring what they're doing, bare minimum, mass murder, mass starvation. Mm-hmm. And you're not angry at that, but you're angry at this young woman. Mm-hmm. I just think it's evidence of a complete psychosis. And I know some of the people on that boat. There's a Brazilian guy on that boat, Tiago. He's the most beautiful. I spent a week with him in Lebanon, and I just wanted to bring him home to Ireland with me. Like, he's a beautiful human being. And when you're just with him, you're just like, this guy's the real deal. He doesn't, the guy's never seen a gun in his life. He's a humanitarian, he's a proper humanitarian. And, he's going there risking his life. He's got I've got 2 kids under 2. He's got a young daughter, I think. Do the sacrifices you make? Yeah. Like, have we totally lost our mind and our reason that we're not looking at the story going, this is a complete failure of our collective humanity, let alone Western leaders, that these people, ordinary people, have to risk their bloody life to try and get a bit of aid into Gaza, and the way they're treated in mainstream media is to ridicule them. Yeah. And don't get me started on Piers Morgan, my sweet Lord.
Oh, I somehow missed that. But I will say, Trump, who notoriously hates Greta Thunberg. Remember, he was mad because she got like Person of the Year and Time Magazine, and Greta had a little like scowly moment at him, and it was beautiful. But Trump's also not an idiot and sort of can read the room, even when it comes to, obviously he's fully on board and more so with ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians from Gaza. But like, this was just a fun little catty moment.
I think Israel has enough problems without kidnapping Greta Thunberg.
I think Israel's got enough problems without kidnapping Greta Thunberg. But anyway, effectively they did. Okay, so what happened among so what happened is they three were deported from Israel, a journalist and Greta and two others, and they were encouraged to do so by the group to basically like go tell our story, go talk to people. And then the others are still being held. And that includes a member of French Parliament who is Palestinian herself.
Yes.
Rima Hassan is her name. And she refused to be deported. They're now going to be in an Israeli prison. Huwaida Araf, I believe, was deported, was let go. And she is the co-founder of International Solidarity Movement, which, again, for people who don't know, has helped send peace activists from around the world to bear witness to the occupation. Rachel Corrie, who was murdered in 2003, was working with ISM. Also, Aysenur Agi, who was just recently killed, a Turkish-American woman. Killed in last year in the West Bank as well. So like, these are people who are just straight heroes, and it's amazing. Like the fact that somebody who is on there. Do you know what Tiago's status is?
No, I don't think anybody's been able to reach him in the last little while. I hope he's able to get in touch with his young family. That's my only hope. But knowing the guy, I mean, as little as I do, but I think I know his soul or something. He will be defiant in his own beautifully gentle way. You know what I mean? He'll just be, he's relentless. And I think, do you know what? There's something about what they're doing as well that why it's triggering all usually very tired, angry, old white men is because it's the sheer humanity of it. It brings into focus exactly what they're missing. Like so many of those, like Piers Morgan types have completely lost their soul. And that's why Greta and Tiago and these people, they just remind them of what they don't have. I mean, I could imagine Piers Morgan at the back of the bus when Rosa Parks was making her great stand and saying, Rosa, you narcissist, you know this is doomed to fail.
Yes, like, this is all about you.
The arch narcissist, like, I mean, Christ.
Yeah, absolutely. Piers he just has to have an angle, and that's got to be like, what would the biggest asshole ever say? But it really is just an angle. So here is Greta speaking of her time and why, like now that she was out, I think this is in Israel or on her way out of it to France.
Probably have posted lots of PR stunt videos. As I said, I have not seen anything, but they did an illegal act by kidnapping us on international waters and against our will, bringing us to Israel, keeping us in the bottom of the boat, not letting us getting out and so on. But that is not the real story here. The real story is that there is a genocide going on in Gaza and a systematic starvation following the siege and blockade now. Yeah, I'm very worried about them. We heard many different messages pointing towards that they would not make it easy. And there were troubles with being able to see lawyers. So I'm very much calling for their immediate release and calling for everyone who can to mobilize to their governments and other ways to demand their immediate release. And of course to demand not only humanitarian aid being let into Gaza, but also a ceasefire, but most importantly an end to the occupation and an end to the systemic oppression and violence that Palestinians are facing on an everyday basis.
Are you disappointed you didn't manage to break the blockade?
I don't know if disappointed is the right word. This is a continued violation of international law and war crimes that Israel are systematically committing against Palestinians by not letting aid come in, by starving people and mass slaughtering in every possible way.
So, God, what a narcissist. She's really making that all about her.
Like, have you ever heard her say anything about herself? She's never said anything about herself.
Like, she just kept on going on and on about how they wouldn't let her shower, and
I know, her nails and her hair, a mess.
Yeah. And like, the food they got in the Israeli prison was gross,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, of course, everyone's got to have an angle, because exactly what you're saying. They could never imagine themselves doing something so outside of their safety and comfort, doing something so on behalf of other people that they have to tear her down. And my other favorite line is, "Oh, there's not enough food in that boat anyway." Like,
yeah.
Shut up again.
Doomed to fail. It was
choke on a million dicks. Let me just play this, because this was my favorite. And it's so terrifying. Here is a child who was clearly asked by not a child to do some propaganda on behalf of the state of Israel against Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg, when you were a child, you wanted the good, not the evil. You wanted to protect the world. How come you suddenly became a supporter of terror? You talk about genocide. How can you not condemn the horrors of October 7th? If you want to provide food to the people of Gaza, I suggest you condemn Hamas, because the truth is that Hamas is taking all the food from the people of Gaza, not Israel. And what about the hostages? Are you going to give them any food? I invite you to meet me, and I will show you what the children of Israel are going through.
Oh God, I do not want to meet that kid. I'm sorry.
Oh God. Like, you just know as well, if he gets that take wrong, he's going overboard. Like, let's get another kid.
Do it again. He's like, "Dad, I'm sick. I feel sick."
Your sister, bring your sister in.
I love that it's an American, but it checks out. That totally makes sense.
It's definitely an American.
But look, it's, my mind immediately went to what is now happening. Like, it's actually just Hamas that won't let any of the aid in, right? That's the problem. Well, here is new footage. This is from yesterday, from Drop Site News, of, again, one of these I guess food distributions, spots that was set up by some sort of new private entity, not the United Nations, because we target them, we kill them systematically. No. It's a separate, was something like Gaza humanitarian assistance, and this is the second time they have lined people up, made them walk for miles and miles to get there, and then have opened fire on them when they try to get aid. It feels like we're in the same, hour that I just talked about, being hit by rubber bullets. That's live ammunition. Those are starving people. Yeah, man, kid, I wish you could see these videos. I wish you were subjected to some reality. But I, obviously wouldn't want to traumatize you the way that everyone who's born witness and who is living through this is traumatized.
I thought your analogy earlier as well was bang on, that like what's going on in LA right now is not so much violence, it's a response to violence. Like, in its own way, it is resistance. So if you're going to be fascistic and bring violence upon a community of a lot of marginalized minorities, then I'm sorry, like, if they fight back, if they have the temerity to fight back, then that's on you, baby.
Yeah, that is on you, baby. And it's the same, it's amazing though, because it's the same line that you're like, look, as long as you resist in this particular way within these parameters, we'll stop repressing you. We'll stop. And it's like, that's never been true. I mean, whether it is ICE trying to detain 3,000 people a day or Israel trying to grab more land to ethnically cleanse, no amount of, gentle resistance, which, by the way, the Palestinians have been doing nonviolent resistance for decades and decades and decades. We're told that intifada somehow means violence, but the first intifada was everything but. It was about women and children, and that is what the BDS call is. It is a nonviolent way, and to my mind, at least from the US's perspective, the only real way, which boycott, divestment, and sanctions. But that is being conflated with violence. So yeah, it's just the parallels, Tyg, are crazy. Before I leave you, can I just play this for you? Because it's amazing. It's like this CNN analyst got his talking points mixed up. I don't know if you've seen this. He is reporting about the streets of Los Angeles, and listen to how he's saying it.
In every protest we see kind of a spectrum of individuals from nonviolent all the way to violent and those opportunists, right? So they will use all those other individuals as shields, as human shields to kind of throw Molotov cocktails or rocks or whatever and instigate. They may not even be from the community. Often they're not. And they don't have a vested interest. Sometimes they don't even care about the cause.
They are using them as human shields. Oh, and then he continues by saying like, oh, and there were Palestinian flags there. And it's like, that's the last thing, before I let you go, Tyg. I think that one thing that I think people outside of the US understand in a way, and like me having lived outside the US for a while and in Latin America, like it was very clear that like the Palestinian flag is much more than just Palestine. It does represent an anti-colonial, mark of resistance, and like that. It is solidarity. It's sort of interchangeable with the idea of global solidarity and the downtrodden. And coming from Ireland, and the amount, and I just want to read, because actually in response to, a bunch of countries, especially people who had citizens who were on the Madleen that was, violently taken by Israel, Ireland had the best response. The Prime Minister, Simon Harris, described the Madleen as a powerful symbol of humanitarian solidarity, condemned Israel's actions. Quote, the Madleen was an effort to get food and medicine to the starving people of Gaza, an unarmed civilian effort in the midst of devastation and catastrophic humanitarian conditions. He added that the ship's interception highlighted the desperate state of Gaza and the international community's failure to act, reiterating Ireland's opposition to the Israeli blockade. I mean, you kind of won this whole, if it was a contest, Ireland won.
And like Simon Harris is like, for context, is kind of like center right. So like we've a shit government, and even they are stronger than the rest of the world. Doesn't that really show the paltry state of Palestinian solidarity, that we're the winners?
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.